Good morning, YouTube. How's everyone doing? Today I want to talk a little bit about the ride and handling of this Perodua Ativa. For friends who have known me long enough, you would know that I used to drive a Ford Ranger 2.2 XLT. I have recently just sold it because, well, I don't need the commercial vehicle for whatever that I'm doing now, especially. And I realized that it's better to get something that's more affordable and easier to be maintained for a long run. I was looking around the market, and coming from a former owner of a Ford Ranger, a pickup truck, you know, with the commanding view in the cockpit, you get to see further when you're driving around. I was actually hunting around for an SUV, but eventually I landed my hands on the Perodua Ativa 1.0 Turbocharged Advanced Variant. This is the third day of me owning this car. I must say that before receiving my car on Friday, I was watching a lot of reviews of how this car handles and performs, the drivability, the stability of the car. How does it feel when you drive, when you're cruising on highways, when you're going through bumpy roads, when you're making a turn, that kind of stuff. So there has been a lot of reviews and comments being made about the Ativa, especially when we're talking about how the car performs on YouTube, right? So I'm not gonna dwell into all those nitty-gritty details of how this car is. Coming from a previous owner of the Ford Ranger 2.2 XLT, I must say that driving the Ativa on bumpy roads actually doesn't feel that bad after all. It is an SUV, well, a mini compact crossover SUV, whatever you may call it, but it has the characteristics of an SUV. A little bit wobbly when you're driving on uneven roads, and to be very honest, I have not driven, I sold my Ford Ranger away, so I have not driven my Ford Ranger for a good 3 months, 4 months maybe, or even more, you know. So yesterday I had this feeling. I think, I'm not too sure where was I was crossing like a uneven road. Suddenly that wobbliness of the Ativa kind of reminded me of how driving the Ford Ranger felt, which is a feeling that I've missed for quite some time because, well, obviously I don't have the car with me already. So yeah, treat this car as an SUV, as how it is intended to, despite the fact that it is not an actual size SUV. It's a compact SUV, a crossover SUV, a city mini SUV. But given the fact that when you're going through corners, when you're going through uneven roads, bumpy roads, crossing bumps and all, the car tends to jump, which it's normal for a car with a higher a higher center of gravity. Based on my own experience, I think it's actually not that bad with how this car is performing the ride and handling, the drive and handling of this car. So far I think it's good. Well, obviously, like I said, this is my third day of owning the car, so I cannot say much, but it has promised what it is supposed to deliver. So for those who are expecting to have a more quiet, less body roll kind of driving experience, well, there are YouTube tutorials about how you're able to make your make the Ativa become less wobbly, to lessen the body roll when you're doing corners and all. I'm sure there are a lot of YouTube tutorials. There are a lot of people that have done so then, you know, cornering, it's actually better. It doesn't create that much of body roll when you're doing your corner at high speeds, but then you're losing the essence of owning an SUV, a higher ground clearance car. I was a former owner of a Ford Ranger. I know how does it feel to drive a pickup truck, which, well, SUV would actually feel the same. And I am actually very surprised that the Perodua Ativa gave me that feeling, you know. So it reminded me of how fun it was to drive my previous Ford Ranger around. Of course, I have not tried going on highways just yet, but the drive and handling experience of the Perodua Ativa on my third day, I think it's pretty awesome. You know, it's an SUV. It gives you the characteristics of an SUV. So I guess that's it from me today. It's just a short video about the drive and handling of the Perodua Ativa. Obviously, I have not had enough time to really test out everything yet, which I will eventually do. But for now, I would say the Ativa, it's a pretty decent car to own. It's a nice city car. It packs the punch whenever you need it. That's all from me today, and I will see you in the next one. Drive safe and stay safe, guys. Peace.